welcome to this week's video on My Hero Academia. This week I'm reviewing episode 4 of volume 3 of Vigilantes. You know the rules and so do I. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below and you will be around at your next week's show. And whilst you're there, be sure to like, favourite, subscribe, click the bell and do all the YouTube stuff that YouTube wants you to do, because YouTube is an increasingly scary place for small content creators. Support your local small content creator today. It will do them a power of good. And we are so close to breaking 100 subscribers. At the time of recording this, we're at 98. It would be great if we could cross over that 100 threshold by the end of the year. But between then and now, we get on with the review. And as we do with all these reviews, we start out with the positives and we kick off with the headlines for this week's review. Yes, I probably should have a jingle here. I've been busy with work, getting stuff ready so I can have some time off for Christmas, but hey ho diddly do. The headline is that this was a very silly but enjoyable episode. In this week's episode, we see Crawler facing off against his greatest foe yet, the green-eyed monster, a powerful and caustic foe whose mere presence bears down into the very soul of our hero and will weigh heavily upon his mind for a very long time. Ooh. For those of you playing along at home, you know that of course I'm talking about jealousy. The emotion, not a villain. I'm not sure if there's a villain in this called jealousy, but hey ho, you know I'm speaking metaphorically with all of this. Yeah, Crawler is understandably super jealous of Captain Celebrity and how he's constantly pipping him to the post and giving him all the crummy superhero jobs. One of the things I really did like about this week's episode, and something I do, as I've said in the past, wish we'd see more in superhero fiction, is that we actually get to see the aftermath of the previous week's villain attack. We get to see Crawler and other heroes having to save people from some of the buildings that were damaged in the whole kaiju attack thing. I really like that stuff. Granted, I kind of like it where she went a little bit more into further detail about all that kind of stuff, but hey, it really didn't need to for something like this. This is just set up for essentially just a gag further on into the episode itself. We get to see that, yeah, Captain Celebrity really is giving Crawler all the crap jobs. You see the bit where there's the young woman and there's the sumo wrestler, and guess who Captain Celebrity saves? Yep, he saves the young woman, so that means Crawler has to carry this sumo wrestler on his back out of this crumbling building. You know, it's a silly gag, it's a rather dumb gag in some regards, but I'm fine with that. I really did love the episode, or rather the humour throughout this episode. Pretty much every single joke landed for me. And I know that humour is incredibly subjective and your mileage really will vary with this kind of stuff. But I'll be honest, I'd rather that the humour in superhero fiction was more like this, was more situational and character driven. Even if it can be a bit cheesy and obvious at times, over the Joss Whedon Marvel movie quippy nonsense, which I'm just so sick to death of, and thankfully, given the way that similar kind of projects have been going recently, it seems like general audiences are starting to get pissed off and done with all that stuff as well. So, hey, maybe we'll see a turnaround. With that said, seeing some of the trailers for the upcoming season up to 2, I really don't think it will. But that's a whole other discussion for a whole other video series. Anyway, you know, you get the gag where Crawler's having to carry out the sumo wrestler guy. You get the joke about Popstep being hypocritical about costumes. And you know that when we see the scene with Captain Celebrity having his date with Mikato, that the person on the other end of the phone is going to be his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or something like that. It's all very obvious, but it's all very reliable humour. It's bankable. It's stuff that, yeah, you get the joke. You can, in some cases, guess it's coming up before it actually arrives, but it's reliable. It's something that you can enjoy. It's not getting into avant-garde, it's not getting too self-referential, it's not getting too, whoa, let me tell you about airplane food, like the Joss Whedon stuff. It's kind of like the pick-up-the-can jokes that you get from Half-Life 2 fans. Everyone's heard them, everyone's done a variation of them, but just because they've been done to death doesn't mean to say they shouldn't be done at all, because everyone has their own little spin on it, and it's always a healthy thing to try out, very much a healthy thing to get involved with, and it can still raise a wry smile now and again. And these jokes, again, they're not shaking the world, they weren't having me crying with laughter, but I enjoyed them. They really did add an extra level of spice and flair to the episode itself, which it wasn't exactly lacking that, it has to be said. You know, we have the bit where we finally discover what Captain Celebrity's grand controversy is, the thing that made him flee to Japan in the first place, and it's a sex scandal. He's been shagging around. I will grant you that it's not as fun or as interesting as I hoped it could have been, though I will say I'll take that over something a little bit too heavy. Yeah, in the main series we get a lot of instances, a lot of backstories which are heavy, very dramatic. And whilst I have enjoyed them all for the most part, as I mentioned last week, sometimes it can feel as though it's just there for the sake of drama itself, and other times it's there for the sake of making us think about an aspect of this world that was never an aspect until this character came into the story, and sometimes it just feels like it's thrown in a bit too prematurely without us ever getting a hint. So that kind of stuff could be a thing in the first place, but again, I'll be talking about the main series at this point. It was to talk about that in greater detail, but you get the idea. With a character like this, I had worried that we would get some very deep, dark, serious, meaningful, heavy-handed and dramatic backstory, which again, whilst I'm sure it would have been well done, I don't think it would have worked for a character quite like this. And whilst I'm not entirely keen on the idea of it being a sex scandal, as I rather would it would be something a little bit more litigious in a way. Maybe it's a rights issue. Maybe there's another captain celebrity in America and he doesn't want to give up the name, so he's gone to Japan where the copyright doesn't exist. Or, as I mentioned last week, maybe he broke the wrong building and is getting taken to court for it. You know, stuff like that I'd be a little bit more keen on, apart from the sex scandal stuff. But it works. I mean, it's totally keeping in the character and for who they are. Like, you read the manga. You've seen him thus far. It makes total sense that a guy like this would be caught in a scandal like this. Makes perfect sense. It works. It's lightweight and silly, possibly a little bit too lightweight, but I'll take the fact he's just being a bit of a shagger than with some of the other stuff that's going around in the media sphere at the moment that other celebrities have been getting up to. Wow. Anyway, still, I think that the whole thing of it, yeah, it's a little bit lightweight for me, but I'll take because it keeps within the character themselves, and it was funny. It was funny. I mean, the thumbnail for this video is Captain Celebrity's reaction when Mikato takes the phone off him and starts talking to his ex-wife. Like, Mikato really saved his ass in that, like, it... I'm not going to go... I know I shouldn't be talking about the events of the comic or rather the manga in this way, because it feels as though I'm just regurgitating it, I'm giving it annotated retelling, but my god, I have enjoyed this episode and the previous one. I'm interested to see where they go with this. And of course, this all ends up leading up to the big rebranding of Captain Celebrity. Like, I will be honest, I personally wouldn't it have been made more sense to rebrand him rather as a caring and compassionate man? You know, right now he has this reputation of being a shagger. He has this reputation of just being a rogue and being a ladies' man and being a bit of a fop. You know, wouldn't it be better and more advantageous to him to rebrand him as a caring, compassionate person, someone who might have had a scandalous past, but has now become an inspiring and a level-headed role model, an inspiring mentor figure, you know, like an All Might or like a, well, depending on your chosen series, like a Mr. Miyagi or... Well, I would say Johnny Lawrence, as that's kind of a similar kind of area, but you get the idea. Just make him look a little bit more mature. Yeah, he had a bad past, but, you know, he's turned around and become a more mature person, an inspiring figure. But I suppose this whole rebranding gag is meant as more of a gag at Japanese culture, more of a jab at that. Like, again, if you were to do this the other way around, then it was like, say, a Japanese hero who came to America and had the same kind of history of shagging around. If it was to be rebranded for an American audience, it probably would emphasise this softer, more mature, positive masculinity side to him. One where they're emphasising what a caring and kind-hearted and warm person he really is. Oh yeah, he may have had this bad past, but in the here and now, he's a good guy, he's a great guy. He's put all that silly past behind him and he's moved on. Rather than here where they're emphasising the masculine side of him. Oh, baby, Captain Celebrity's so masculine. He's so well disciplined that he doesn't fool around with women whatsoever. Okay, sure, whatever. I will admit that it feels like a very much a joke censored at Japanese culture, and that's not something that I have much of a familiarity with. I'm sure that it hit a lot better in Japan for people more aware of how that all kind of stuff works, but hey, it was still fun all the same, just seeing what their grand solution to all of this is. And of course, the follow-up from that, you get Crawler grumbling about the rebranding whilst dressed in one of the costumes used in the advert, which makes it seem as though he was actually in the advert itself. And of course, you get the media response to it saying, the journalists in foreign countries are saying that he must have eaten some crazy Japanese food and gone crazy. Oh god, this storyline is so silly, but I love it so much, and I really hope that he doesn't take a dark turn. I really hope it doesn't, because I still have this little voice in the back of my head that's still saying, Stain's coming. Stain's coming. This guy's going to be Stain's first big victim. This is the guy that's going to get it. He's going to get it. It feels like he's going to. And in the behind-the-scenes stuff after this episode, it says how when the character was first introduced, that the fans didn't really like Captain Celebrity because of the line where Crawler says, I don't like this guy. He seems a bit shady to me, or words to that effect, and that immediately put people off him. So I don't know whether they're going to do the crowd-pleasing thing and give Captain Celebrity a rather definitive comeuppance, or whether or not they're just going to do the thing that I kind of think they're going to, which is kind of just ruin his reputation and force him to go to another country. Hey, maybe he'll go back to America and then he will rebrand himself as a caring, nice guy. Who knows? Anyway, I have to say that I do love this storyline, and again, I know that people are gonna fucking hate this one when it comes out. Like, as I said in the past, I can easily see the previous 2 volumes being the first season, add a few episodes in for filler, elaborate on a few things to pad stuff out. You probably would get a good 12 to 15 episodes out of that. A great one-off season to just see if there's any legs in all of this. Then for this season, you bounce it out to maybe 20 or so. Kind of like what they did with the main series. The first season was only 10 episodes, then it went up to 20 or 15 or something like that, and built up from there. You could do the same thing here quite easily. Like, the first season's 10 episodes, but because that 10 episodes would end with the stuff with Stain, anyone that doesn't know what comes next will be like, oh wow, I can't wait to see what edgy and exciting stuff comes next, and then the next 5 or 7 or 10 episodes just dicking around with Captain Celebrity. Oh baby, people are going to get so pissed off with that. People are going to call it filler and God knows what else. But anyway, still, I have to say I really did enjoy it. I suppose at this point we should get into the negatives and say, I don't really have any real negatives. Maybe the fact that the big reveal that Captain Celebrity's grand controversy is the fact he's shagging around was done a bit too prematurely. But I suppose it depends on how long he's actually going to be in the series for. Like, if he's only going to be in for another couple episodes, okay, I can understand them doing it now. But if he's still going to be in till, say, midway through next season, or rather midway through next volume, then yeah, that's way too early. But we'll see. We'll see. So, as an all, and we go into the overview, I really did love this episode. There's a lot of really funny, brilliant, great fun moments with this episode. I really do like Captain Celebrity. He's a great foil for our main cast, and again, I really hope that we don't end up going down on a path where he gets offed by Stain in an embarrassing and rather edgelordy way, or it all boils down to a big fight between him and our heroes. That's something I don't think we need. I think you could easily end this with him being... with his career being ruined by one thing or another. He gets exposed for just being a bit of a shit, and then he has to go on the run again and find some other country to go to. I wonder what country he would go to. Suggestions down in the comment section down below. What country should Captain Celebrity flee to if he's bullied out of Japan? Let me know in the comment section. Speaking of comment section, let us get into Comment Corner. It's time for Comment Corner, and once again we have Big X1 who says, gonna be honest, Captain Celebrity annoys me, but it does shake things up a bit, and I think that has been needed for quite a while. Thank you for the comment, and if you want to leave your comments, just leave in the comment section down below. It really isn't that difficult. I mean, it's literally there, but still, thank you for your comment, and I have to say that I can see where Big X1 is coming through here. I can easily see why a character like Captain Celebrity can be annoying. I suppose it's like the thing with Hercule or Mr. Satan or whatever from the Dragon Ball series, where a lot of people really don't like him, but I kind of like him. I don't know why. I don't know why I have this love for these kind of bullshit characters who are just kind of a bit scummy and a little bit selfish. I really don't know. I really don't get that, but still, I can see why people wouldn't like him, and like I've said previously, I can see why this whole mini storyline could be a bit beyond the pale for some people. Like, you go from the previous season, if there is a previous season, where it's been a lot more grounded, a lot more serious, a lot more, you know, grounded and gritty, to suddenly getting this fucker flying around. You know, a lot of people will turn around and say, has My Hero Academia Vigilantes gone off the rails? Has it jumped the shark? I can see videos like that coming down the pipeline. Oh, good God. But anyway, whilst I horrify myself with that, I'll say thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Leave a comment down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought about this particular episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. But between next time and this time, I will say to you, see you next time. Goodbye! Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favourite, subscribe, click the bell, and do all the YouTubey stuff that YouTube wants you to do. Go on, it'll do me a power of good. Until next time, my friends, goodbye!